Building muscle and losing body fat is a lot about what you eat every single day. Usually that means long, boring meal prep or endless hours spent in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. But today, we're gonna fix that. This is how I meal prep my entire week in less than an hour. This provides me with 4 delicious meals that are very high in protein and hits a total of 200 grams of protein every single day. The 4 meals we're gonna make today are PB and blueberry overnight protes, chicken paella, Biscoff overnight wheat bix, and a simple spag bowl. Now there's 2 ways you can do this. The first is doing all the meals for the entire week in literally 1 hour or less. Or the way that I personally like to do it is I like to split it up into 2 20 to 30 minute blocks, and then I cook enough for about 3 or 4 days, and I do that again midweek. In my personal experience, food after about the 4th day does not taste like good food. So that's why I prefer to do it split into 2. But if you literally only have the 1 time to do it per week, maybe on a Sunday, then you can smash it all out, put it in the fridge and the rest in the freezer, and you'll be good. Starting off, these are the ingredients you will need. For the PB and blueberry overnight protes, you're gonna need whey protein. I recommend vanilla or salted caramel, oats, blueberries, almond milk or milk of choice, and peanut butter. Or if you wanna keep the calories down, you can use PB powder. Cinnamon is optional. For the peri peri chicken paella, you're gonna need some peri peri chicken. You can marinate these yourself, but you wanna save time, not money, so I recommend buying them already done. Uncle Ben's rice, because again, we're saving time, not money. Some pineapple, which is optional, and of course, if you do have time, I would recommend adding some extra veggies, but I don't have time, so I do recommend adding Nando sauce if you want it spicy though. For the Biscoff overnight wheat bix, you're gonna need some wheat bix, almond milk or milk of choice, YoPro, sugar-free maple syrup, Biscoff biscuits, and some light whipped cream is optional. For the simple spag bowl, you're gonna need extra lean mince, pasta of choice, passata, low-fat cheese, and then spices of choice. To make sure you can do this nice and fast, don't waste any time, we're gonna multitask a little bit. So you wanna start by popping your chicken in the air fryer. I recommend splitting it up into 2. If you can, it just cooks a little bit better. I'm gonna pop it on 180 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes. Once your chicken's cooking, we're gonna bang out the overnight protes and the overnight wheat bix in one go. Now keep in mind, all the amounts I'm using are for my personal macros. You can easily decrease or increase the amounts of the ingredients to fit yours, and we'll cover how to do that at the end as well. So to start off, I'm doing 100 grams of oats in each. Whatever oats you do, you double with the milk. So 100 grams of oats, and then chuck in 30 grams of protein, and then 200 mils of almond milk. Simply mix that all together, and then I'm chucking on about 100 grams of blueberries on top, and then just a dash of cinnamon as well. Now that shouldn't take very long at all. Once you do those, I recommend putting your pasta on to boil. So I'm doing 100 grams per meal, so I'm gonna chuck in 300 grams of dry whey pasta, chuck that on to boil, and give it a stir every now and then. Add in some salt and it shouldn't stick together. Now while the pasta's boiling, we're gonna bang out the wheat bix. Now you're gonna grab some wheat bix and chuck it into a Ziploc bag. I'm going with 4, but you can do 2 or 3, it still works very well. Once you got them in, basically just go Mike Tyson on them until they're crushed up into a nice fine, almost like a powder. It doesn't have to be that fine, but close enough. From there, simply drizzle on some sugar-free maple syrup, and then you're gonna chuck in about 100 to 130 mils of almond milk. The more wheat bix you have, the more almond milk you're gonna need. Once you got that in, mix it all around and then pat it down into a base. And then from there, you're gonna put your YoPro on top. We're doing 160 grams of YoPro. I highly recommend using the salted caramel YoPro for this, or at least the vanilla. Those work the best with this recipe. Now, when you're finishing this, your chicken and your pasta is probably gonna be done, so just strain the pasta and make sure your chicken didn't overcook. But once that YoPro's on, you're gonna do the exact same thing. Smooth it out and pat it down so you get a nice looking base like this, and then simply keep repeating that for 3 to 4 meals. Now with the Biscoff biscuits, you want to chuck that back into that Ziploc bag, smash them together, and then sprinkle that over the top. Chuck some cinnamon on top of that as well if you like. Now if you are eating these at home, you don't have to take it on the go with you. Highly recommend chucking some light whipped cream on top. It just gives it that little bit of extra something. You're pretty much on the home stretch now. Chicken should be just about done, so grab 500 grams of mince or however much you need, chuck that into a pan on medium to high heat, and then simply add the seasonings of your choice. I'm a big fan of taco seasoning and maybe a little bit of garlic salt as well. Now once the mince is pretty much cooked, you're going to go ahead and add your passata and then turn the heat down to a low heat. While that's cooking through and sizzling over, you're just going to go ahead and prepare your chicken. So the way I like to do it is just dump it all into one container. The reason I do this is because I eat at home, so I can put it into a bowl, chuck the pineapple on top, and it will look like this. Now if you don't work from home, you're going to need to split this into 3 containers. The best thing about the Uncle Ben's rice is I highly recommend just taking it on the side. That way you can just microwave them separately and it tastes so much better. Now of course the pineapple is optional. I understand some people are going to lose their shit over that, but trust me, the Nando sauce is a must. Now do the same thing with your spag bowl. I personally just dump it all into one big container as I eat this at night, and I like to have it into a bowl. But if you need it to be on the go, then simply split your pasta and your mince into 3 or 4 meals, however many you need. Throw a handful of low-fat cheese onto your spag bowl, a little bit of sweet chili sauce if you're a bit weird like me, and there you have it. That's how I make enough food to last me 3 to 4 days, giving me 4 meals a day and hitting 200 grams of protein. Now like we said at the start, these are my specific macros for this current time. If you need more, you can simply just increase the amounts, and of course if you need less, you can simply decrease the amounts. Hope that video was helpful. Don't forget to smash that subscribe, and I highly recommend checking out this video here.